What's up guys, Jake Lowry here, and today we are actually very excited because we're going to take the fly rod out and do a roulette wheel fly fishing challenge. The past week, the girlfriend's parents came to visit and they road tripped down here actually from the Northeast all the way down to Texas. And one of the stops they stopped at was a big fly fishing area in Tennessee. They stopped at this fly shop, they got me a hat, and then they also got a bunch of different bass flies that we're going to test out today that I think are going to be killer for fly fishing. And the reason it's pretty exciting is because we don't have a lot of bass fishing, fly fishing shops in this area. What that causes me to have to do is I have to buy stuff on the internet and you don't get a good look at it beforehand. Now the flies that they picked up are actually killer, and I think they're gonna do really well in Texas, because if it's so hard to get these flies in Texas, that means it's gonna be insane fishing here because nobody's using them at all. But before I show you guys the flies, let's take a look at the spot, because we're at a spot that is killer, the conditions are gonna be killer, and the fishing overall today is gonna be amazing. So I'm actually at Lake Tahoe. The lake is right behind me. You guys can kind of tell by the lake that is back up. The water is high. They drain it every year to do some maintenance, but now it's pretty high. We did get out a little later than anticipated today. It is about 12 o'clock on a Sunday, so there shouldn't be too many people out, and the conditions should set up to be really good. Now, the only thing that does concern me about today is we did choose to fly fish, and the wind is actually picked up quite a bit on this lake, which makes me think that the fly fishing might not be totally amazing. If we can cast around it, that chop on the water is going to keep this ultra clear lake less spooky, right? Because if those fish come up towards the bank chasing shad and chasing little baits like they do normally in the fall, then this chop on the water is actually going to help our situation. We're going to have to, position ourselves in a place that the cast isn't affected by the wind, and we're going to grind out a bunch of fish today on these flies. So without further ado, let's get the flies out. Let's take a look at them. Then I'm going to get the Roulette app set up, and then we're going to start fishing, guys. All right, guys, so we have 5 flies in this little case. I'm going to take them out one at a time. We're going to take a look at them. I'm actually very stoked to get these flies unboxed and to get fishing with these things because they're going to be killer. So the first fly I'm going to pull out of this box is a white, this looks like a long streamer. It looks to be about 4 inches long, and it has a little cone head at the top and 2 very big eyes. This is going to be a great fly for imitating shad, and overall will just be an overall great bass fishing catching machine. The next fly we have is a topwater. This thing is actually made out of foam. This is my favorite of the day. It is a white topwater fly. It has some flash on it. It actually has an articulating hook on it, and they even added the detail of putting some flash on that hook. So overall, a very high quality fly. It almost looks like this fly is going to walk in the water, so it'll be interesting to test out the action on this thing, and hopefully we can end up catching some more fish. The next 2 flies that they got that are in the same vein is, we know these work in this pond. They're 2 popping flies. These are much higher quality than the ones that I purchased off Amazon. They should be a lot better in this pond, and we're pretty confident that we're going to at least catch a couple fish on these 2 flies right here. But overall, a white popper is really good for this high sunlight conditions, and then a blue one will be good to stand out and make a good shadow underwater. Next one is the same type of fly as that white fly, just in a golden color, and this thing is super flashy, guys, and kind of gives off more of a shiner, a golden shiner vibe than a shad vibe. I don't know what kind of bait are in this lake, so brown might work just as good as white today, so who knows, we will see. And then the last one is this brown woolly bugger. This thing seems like it's going to be really good in some deeper water, only because I think it sinks a lot, and also this orangey brown color is going to stick out perfectly and almost imitate a crawfish, which we know fish in East Texas are eating. So overall, guys, I'm thoroughly impressed by all of these flies, and I'm actually very excited to start fishing. Why don't we get the fly rod set up? I'm gonna get the Roulette app set up with each of these flies, and then we're gonna start fishing, and we're gonna tie on the first Roulette app fly that we get. Last thing, guys, is make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed to the channel, and make sure you like this video. We again are so close to 10,000 subscribers. I can even smell it, guys. So it should be only a couple more weeks, but again, only you guys control that by subscribing. So make sure if you guys like these videos, like the video and subscribe if you have not. That tells me that I'm doing something right, and we can keep fishing and we can keep making content. So thank you, guys, and let's cut it to the fishing. All right, guys, I have the Roulette app open up on my phone. We're gonna spin this and see which fly we are using first, guys. Let's see here. Okay, first fly off the bat is gonna be the white popper. Let's get that thing tied on and see if we can't catch any bass with it. There is the white popper, guys. I'm gonna put this back in my pack. We'll get this thing tied on. I'm actually pretty confident in this thing right now. White is gonna be a great color for this level of sun that's out right now. And we can also target some of the shadier areas of the pond and see if we can't pick up a fish pretty early. Now, the rules are simple. Once we catch a fish, then I'm gonna elect to switch the bait, and then we'll just do the next fly on the Roulette app until we get through all of the flies. And then once we get through all of the flies, that's gonna wrap up the challenge. Last time I fished this pond with the fly rod, shade was like the biggest key factor. So if we could keep and continue to target shade, then we'll probably still have good luck with the fly rod in this pond. If we struggle to find the shade, because it is kind of like the middle of the day, it might be a struggle. All right, first cast with the popper. Let's see the popping action. Oh, guys, this thing pops actually just miles better than the popper we used the other day. I'm actually pretty confident in this bait's ability to catch us some fish pretty early on in the challenge. Okay, let's move closer towards some structure. I don't think there's gonna be any fish randomly out there, and we'll see if we can't catch anything. Shade, I'm surprised by how clean this water is too. Like, the water is like clearer than I think I've ever seen it in this lake. So white is also gonna be a good color because of that. There are some topwater fish activity in this pond. I usually see like some of the smaller fish hitting topwater flies in this pond, so I'm not gonna give up quite yet. There he is. Oh, that's a bigger fish too. That's a nice fish, guys. Whoa. Right off the bat with a nice bass on the fly rod. Uh-oh, he's in some weeds, but we got him. Guys, oh my gosh, that is a nice bass. There he is. For this pond, guys, this is a huge fish. Let's go. So far, look at that thing, guys. That thing is killer. Unhooked perfectly, and look at that nice little bass, guys, that I caught right off rip on the fly rod. All right, so why don't we get this guy released? But man, I'm super stoked on that. Probably pushing about a pound, and let's see if we can't catch another one, but we are gonna have to switch up on the Roulette app, and hopefully I get another topwater fly, because if they're eating like that on topwater, in the first 5 minutes of fishing, that is a great sign. There goes that fish, big fish on the fly rod. They're up shallow, they're eating flies. It's October. Beautiful weather. I mean, how can you beat that, guys? All right, guys, before I take that fly off, why don't we get this Roulette wheel back out, and let's see what the next fly we're gonna use is. It can't be the white popper. We'll spin if we get the next one. Okay, next one is the white streamer. Let's get this cut off and let's get the white streamer out. I mean, this thing is about 4 inches long, and this thing looks just like an absolutely money fly. Whoa, that was a great cast, Jake. Let's get one cast really far out in the middle here. I know the spot is very deep because of where I kayak fish here, and I usually get a bite kind of semi-far off the bank here. Come on. I was very surprised by getting that fish that early. That's fly fishing for you. Sometimes in these high pressure scenarios, the fly rod is like the best thing that you could take out. There we go. Pretty solid cast right there. Let's let this thing sink just a hair. This thing is just so bright and visible in the water because the sun, and it's so flashy. It honestly might be too much for these fish. It looks so fishy over here, guys. I can get to the spot with plenty of back cast room from this little shaded area, so this could be the next spot for a fish. There is some overhead structure right above me, so I'm gonna have to kind of cast sidearm here, but we should be able to get a really good first cast through here. Perfect first cast, guys. One thing about the water being a lot deeper is that these fish, you know, aren't consolidated in the really good spots. That can kind of hang out pretty much throughout the whole pond. So we're gonna have to locate the fish today. This guy's more pissed off. Eat it. There's like 5 little dinks right in front of me. There we go. Dang it, guys. They do not like this little white fly. Guys, a fish just came up and looked at it. It is so windy. Yep. Oh! He ate it. Came right off the bottom of the spot. Not happening. All right, time to respin and then walk to the other end of the lake, guys, because I don't think this fly is doing the trick. All right, let's see here. White popper, can't do that one again. Can't do the white popper. White foam, okay, white foam topwater is the next lure we're gonna use today. Don't know how I feel about it, but we are going to test it out. I'm gonna get that thing rigged up. We're gonna go to the other end of the lake and see if we can't catch another fish, guys. I actually thoroughly like this fly. The popping action is pretty solid. Probably feeling a little more confident in this thing than I am with the other fly. So let's, you know, keep casting this thing around and see if we can't catch something. Or we do have to use what Gracie's parents thought was the best fly in the bunch. So that'll be the next fly I tie on, and we'll see if that comes up with the competition. There we go. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Well, guys, you know what that means. One more fly we can use today. All right, next one up on the roulette challenge. We're gonna cheat a little. We're gonna put on the brown bugger and see if this is the one that can bring us to glory. I think it is. I'm gonna actually, next time I have my kayak out here, get that foam fly back. I've lost more lures on this one laydown than I think I have anywhere else. But we're gonna go over to the other part of this pond and throw this brown red fly out here. See if that helps us catch any fish. We have this orange fly tied on. I'm hoping this one is the ticket right here. It looks pretty buggy. It's heavy. We'll be able to fish it a little faster. It's not as flashy. It's a little more natural than the ones we were using. The water's clear. The fish should be eating stuff that looks more like this and less like the white fly. So hopefully, if we throw this thing around long enough, we'll end up catching something. Surprising, man. They ate that popper so well early, and then you swap to something that's like, you'd think more higher fish percentage catching, and you end up with worse odds to catch a fish. Okay, it is just so deep off this little dock right here. I'm actually gonna give this thing a bomb cast and just let it sink, man. This thing does look like a crawfish, so hopefully we could pick up some bass maybe, you know, off the grass here. And then that might get us some good bites. Sink, pop, pop. Sink, pop, pop. Sink. Fish. Let's go. Let's go. Finally. Man, that feels good. It's a nicer fish too. Stay down. Let's go. Don't spit it. Nice, guys. Second fish of the day on the orange fly. That is huge. That is huge. Nice little bass guy. Let's get him released. Off he goes. He ate it on the fall, which is pretty interesting. But in the fall, a lot of times. All right, guys, that is going to wrap up the video. Unfortunately, we didn't catch a ton of fish on the flies. We did end up catching 2 bass. We caught one on Gracie's parents' favorite fly, and then we also caught one on the popper. I was expecting to catch more fish on that white fly, but we just didn't get it done today. I think it was way too bright and too late in the day for the fish to be hitting that well. That said, the fishing is gonna get better, guys. Fall is coming. I'm excited for it to cool off just a hair, and you know, we were able to actually fish in the afternoon. Usually it's just way too hot. But that said, we had a lot of fun today fishing, guys. I always like the fly fishing videos. Let me know in the comments if you guys like fly fishing just as much as I do. That way I know if I should keep making these videos or if I should keep bass fishing. So make sure you guys like this video if you liked it, and comment down below if you guys like the fly fishing content. But anyways, guys, if you guys like this video, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I'm gonna catch you guys next time.